King Cobra.
Welcome everybody again to the next episode, to a new episode, of the Urban Retrospect. I am your host today, or your chief moderator today, Kendrick Cloud from Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Let's start with an introduction of the crew. Wes, why don't you go first, bro?
This is Wesley, repping Tennessee State. Let's get it going.
All right. Let's throw it down to my boy in Cincinnati, Big G. Oh, why is this guy?
Greg Jones, Kentucky State University.
There we go. I'm glad we're doing them short today.
Man, y'all sound like the starting lineup for Tennessee Titans.
Let's go on to P, man.
Hey, it's your boy P back up in here, representing Panama City, Florida.
All right. And Scott Jones.
Scott Jones representing Indiana State University.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Quarterback.
And then the big brother of the crew, Ramsey. Let him know who you are.
Ramsey James representing Tennessee State University.
All right. Now, once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Just a quick reminder of why we are here. We started this because we wanted to highlight Black-owned products and give honest reviews. So that's why we're here. We're a group of 6 today, but normally 7 individuals, friends that got together and said, how can we help? And that's why we're here. I want to say thank you to any and all of the new viewers, any and all of the new subscribers on whatever platform. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. We're trying to grow this thing, make it bigger and better, and make y'all proud of us. All right. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. And we want to say hit that like or subscribe button, depending on what platform you're on. We'll go over those at the end of the show. But sit back, relax, and get ready to have some fun. Now, when we started this show, as I said, to highlight Black-owned products. Recently, we moved into services and service providers. But another premise of the show was to bring awareness to different issues, different things affecting specifically the Black community. We usually cover these types of topics in our quick takes or hot takes section, or sometimes in our words of wisdom. But tonight we have a special episode to accomplish this. And the topic is an old one, but it's still a very relevant one. And it's HIV and AIDS and the whole sexual education gamut. All right. To help us discuss this subject, we have some very special guests here from the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland, AHF/BLACC, which is the Black Leadership AIDS Crisis Coalition. And we'll get into a bigger breakdown of all of that in just a second. But before we get into all of that, we want everybody to just take a second and check out this video real quick.
There are thousands of Black lives that are being destroyed by HIV and AIDS every day. We join with 16-year-olds who are HIV positive, born that way, and have to live every day with the stigma and shame of ignorance. Today, by being here, you join in this movement. Do not leave here the same. This is a call to action.
If we can get one person educated about how severe this is hitting our communities, then they can go on and express to their friends, hey, this really is important. We need to listen.
We need to keep funding
and awareness on HIV and AIDS, especially with young people. We need to actually increase the funding because it's still a big problem in this country and something that we need to continue to address.
I wish we didn't have to come out here and fight for funding for HIV and AIDS, but we do. It affects all of us. If it affects me, it affects you. If it affects you, it affects me. You, everybody outside of this stadium.
50% of people in Atlanta that are infected didn't know it because they wouldn't go and get themselves checked out because they were afraid of what people would say. We've got to take the fear out of this.
And that's why AIDS Healthcare Foundation that has a vision to bring us all together, beginning with the claim that healthcare is not a privilege, it is a right, it's a moral right, it's a human right, it's a civil right.
Sit in a seat at 36 years old, to be an entrepreneur, to be heterosexual, to be Christian, to be, dual degree, to be a sorority girl, to have gone to school and done everything that they said I was supposed to do. Yes, I'm HIV positive now, but I don't care what you think.
All right, guys. Now let's get into the introduction of our guests. As I said before, we have 3 guests that are here, and they're going to explain the differences between the different organizations, and we'll get into the topic in just a second. But let's start. Miss Tracy Jones.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Tracy Jones, and I serve a few different roles, but I am the executive director of the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland, which is located in Midtown in Cleveland, Ohio. And I also have a dual role with our parent organization, which is the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, which is the largest provider of HIV services on the globe. We're in 16 cities, 47 countries, and we're way past 1 million patients. So we service the community, we're in the community, and we continue to want to be a part. And so we're delighted to have this opportunity to work with you all.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, Miss Dawn.
Good evening, everyone. And once again, thanks for allowing us to be on the show this evening. My name is Dawn Richardson. I am a pharmacy sales representative for the AIDS Healthcare Foundation of America. And our pharmacy is different from other pharmacies. We're not-for-profit, so 96 cents out of every dollar goes back that we fill the prescriptions goes back into patient care. So regardless of our HIV patients' finances, we fill their prescriptions regardless of their ability to pay. We deliver free of charge, and we just help them out in any way we can. I also serve as one of the Ohio co-chairs for BLACC, along with Tanya. So maybe she can tell you more about BLACC and what we do as an affinity group.
Okay. Well, that's a good alley-oop, Miss Tanya. Go ahead.
Dunk it, Tanya, dunk it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanya Thurman, and I serve as the Associate Director of Mobilization Campaigns for AHF. I'm also one of the other co-chairs for BLACC, which focuses on Black women, Black gay men, civic groups, and youth. So we are very, very intentional on the aspects of HIV when it comes to the Black community.
All right, thank you again, ladies, for agreeing to be a part of the show. Let's sit back, have fun, and get into these questions, all right? So my first question, you guys already started kind of talking about it, and it's just asking you to tell us more about the mission of the AIDS Task Force, BLACC, and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, respectively, and how do all 3 of them interrelate with one another? And anybody can answer that.
How about I start, and I'll everybody else can fill in. So the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland was started in 1983, started as an organization with the hope of helping people living with HIV and AIDS and their families within the city limits. We served probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 700 clients, and we are located in Midtown Cleveland on Euclid Avenue. And we have services to include case management services, nutritional services, so you can get food bags, educational services. We have a number of education programs that do prevention. We have a van that goes into the community that tests people for HIV and AIDS. And advocacy is a huge part of the work that we do. We found ourselves in some pretty dire straits back in 2011. And we were looking for a partner. We were looking for somebody that understood us and wanted to work with us just the way we were. And so AHF had just come into Columbus, and Latanya was the first office administrator for our office in Columbus. So we had some talks with them over the course of a year and decided to join forces with them. And we became what we call an affiliate program. So we were the first affiliate program. We're a standalone organization, our own 501c3, our own programming, but we do take advantage of some of the back end work that AHF enables us to do. Economies of scale. We buy better, we can, serve more clients because of their help. But now there are 8 other affiliate programs similar to ours that were in struggles financially and became a part of AHF, but still maintained their autonomy. So I'll leave it there to talk about AHF. If you want to pick that one up, Tanya, and Dawn, you can pick up BLACC.
Right, so AHF is now in its 31st year of existence, and we actually started off as the AIDS Hospice Foundation, but as HIV and the care started to grow, our name changed to the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. And so as Tracy mentioned before, we're in 16 states and 47 countries around the world. And because we're so vast, we felt that we needed to break out into various affinity groups to just to target certain popular target populations. So we have BLACC, which focuses on Black communities. We have Flux, which focuses on transgender. We have Impulse, which focuses on gay men. And we have Spark, which focuses on women in general. Oh, and the last one is Loud, which focuses on the Latino community. I'll toss it over to Dawn and she can go into detail about BLACC.
Okay. Just to follow up on what Tanya said on BLACC, Black Leadership AIDS Crisis Coalition, I am new to BLACC, even though I've been, as if anyone knows Tracy, she'll pull you in. So I've done a lot, I've done a lot of work with BLACC, just in helping with their purpose. I'm in a lot of civic organizations. So my job and my outside life kind of mirror together. So that's been nice, being able to work with the groups that I'm in and some of the same purposes and projects that they have, I can bring over to some of the work we're doing with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. So it's been.
I call Dawn a joiner. She in everything.
Not everything. Not everything.
And to put a finer point on BLACC, it came as a result of a really large company. They're like 6,000 employees all over the globe. But we wanted to be able to focus on issues that were important to Black people, because there are issues that are germane only to Black people who are living with AIDS. So this particular group was birthed out of the need to concentrate on issues that are our issues, but it's employees of this rather large company. So, I mean, it was pretty progressive to design it and come up with this group. But one of the things that's really important to us is that we want to make sure that we are serving Black community. So social justice issues are really important to us. Black Greek organizations are really important to us. We support them with our time and our dollars. And we just want to make sure that we continue to put at the forefront issues for Black people first. So that's the purpose of that group.
And that's a good segue to this next question about what drew you to the organization or serving individuals who are impacted by HIV and AIDS.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I was 19 years. I'm about to tell you how old I am. I was 19 years old, and it was, the beginning of the AIDS epidemic, and I had gotten this job. One of my family members had helped me get a job at Kaiser Pharmacy as a pharmacy technician. And I'm wide-eyed, 19 years old, and all of these pills start coming in. These bottles are like 6 feet tall, full of pills. And patients that I had been seeing, for the whole time that I had been employed, were coming in, and 72 hours later they would be dead. There wasn't any, it was like you're in and you're gone. And it was really, like hard to explain how much that makes an imprint on your soul. It was the greatest illness in human history up to that point that I had ever witnessed. And so I really wanted to do something about the issue, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I, like everybody else, I graduated from Kent with a degree in HR and started working, and really found that it was not fulfilling. I wanted to do something that made a difference. And then around that time, a relative of Kendrick's and I succumbed to the HIV virus. And it changed my life because it was personal then. It had touched me, but now it's personal. So I just wanted to do something about it. And it was supposed to be, a step away for a couple years. Then I was going to go back to HR and make real money. And it's been 22 for me.
Awesome.
Actually 26, but 22 in one organization. Dawn?
Yes, go ahead, Dawn.
Go ahead, Dawn.
Oh, my story is kind of similar to Tracy. I started AHF in 2012, and about 2 years prior, somebody that's very, very close to me had disclosed that he was HIV positive. So I took, as soon as I had never met anybody that was HIV positive, I just knew what they taught you in health class, the basics. So I had took it upon myself to try to learn as much so I wouldn't bring stigma upon him, but I was ignorant to the subject. So I took that time to try to learn as much as I could to also be a support system to him. And then ironically, I had just completed grad school when I saw this job opening for AHF that was coming to Columbus, Ohio. So I just felt this was my way to give back and be able to speak up for him and other people who are unable to speak up.
And I came into the HIV AIDS world via my friends once again. Tracy and I have a mutual friend. We went to grad school together, and her job was in working with HIV and AIDS patients. Another one of our really close friends worked at Planned Parenthood, and I worked at a health museum, and we had an exhibit on HIV AIDS. So a lot of our time was spent talking about the work we do. So it didn't happen right then, but like Tracy said, later on down the line, I came back full circle. So now that's the one of my passions.
I can hear the passion in all of your voices, and just commendable on your journey here. So I want to talk a little bit about the education part, right? So we're going to break it down for our subscribers. We've been using HIV and AIDS. Can you all break down HIV and AIDS in layman terms? The differences, what people need to know.
I love this question because there really is a simple way to look at it. They're two parts of the same illness. I think sometimes people use it interchangeably, but the facts of the matter is if you become HIV positive, you basically have the virus, but as long as your body, your immune system, which kicks in as soon as you become positive, your body keeps that illness in check, which somewhere can be somewhere from 1 year to 7 years, 1 year to 5 years, 1 year to 3 years, depending on what your immune system, what shape it's in. Once your immune system gets to a point where it starts to get depleted, you will find yourself in a situation where you become stage AIDS. If you don't intervene and get treatment, if you don't get on the medications, if you don't see your doctor, you don't take good care of yourself, if you don't eat better, all of those things that we know to be true with any kind of immune compromising illness is true with HIV. I think sometimes we get all bent out of shape and people go crazy because it's sexually transmitted. But it's just like any immune compromising illness. The gentleman up top, when you talk about oncology and you talk about cancer, it's the same thing. It debilitates your immune system. Once you get to a point where you get what's called an AIDS diagnosis, when your T cells, the helper cells, the cells that fight off infection, are below 200, you go into stage AIDS. That's when things could get very dangerous if you don't really intervene and start working to make sure you keep that virus under control. And so the one other thing I would like to say about that is that it is a syndrome, because sometimes I think people think, oh, you hear people say, oh, that person has AIDS. Well, AIDS is a collection of illnesses. So you've got to take a bunch of different pills. We've been able to package them into 1 or 2 pills now, but you see people, when we first started working with people living with HIV and AIDS, they would have 17 bottles, because you got to take this pill to combat this part of the virus and this part of the illness. Now we've been able to get that down. One of the things we're most proud of is 1 pill a day, So folks have been able to manage their virus much, much better and live really, really healthy lives. That doesn't mean that you're not at risk, because the problem is in the pills, right? Some pills give you problems with your brain. Some pills give you problems with your liver. So they're not without challenges, but 72 hours to death. And some people we know have lived, they're seniors. We have lots of seniors now that we take care of. So we've come a long way. I don't know, ladies, if you wanted to add.
You summed it up.
Hey, you just educated me, so I appreciate that. That was perfect. So let's talk a little bit about impact to our community, right? So the African-American community, in particular, young people, being the highest risk demographic for new HIV cases and AIDS-related deaths in the US. Can we talk a little bit about that and why it's impacting our community so much?
I'm gonna bump this one to Tanya, but it's because, one of the things that I often say that they're both gonna laugh. I want to talk to people that are actually having sex. They're having sex.
But,
so that's why
but to piggyback on Ramsey's question, white people having sex too. But it seems like we always get the HIV and the AIDS stigma. And I know you're gonna break it down, but we ain't the only one having sex. We ain't the only one having unprotected sex. Why is it the Black people, just like Ramsey said, why is it us? Why is it every commercial you see is Black? It's Black. It's Black. Why?
I'm gonna let Tanya take the youth, but I love this question because there really is a simple answer. It's not a great answer, but it's a simple answer. When you think about Black community, you think about us, you ask most Black women, and it's changing, Black women want, if they're heterosexual, to date a Black man. We very infrequently, until recently, dated outside our race. Now, that conversely, lots of straight Black men date outside our race. No big deal one way or the other. But when you do continue to date within a community that is a small community, you get what's called community viral load. So within that community, because if you introduce the infection and the infection spreads like wildfire within that community, the risk shoots off the Richter. It's really just science. It's not because we're predestined. It's not because we do anything more incredible. We're a closed community. Once you introduce
black men just nasty. That's what you're saying.
That is not what I
said. I mean, you're like, we just enclosed, but it's, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry at this point.
But no, if you think about that, if you think about, and here's the other part. This is the part that I really want people to understand. Where we worry is on college campuses. We have huge problems. Now, colleges are not going to tell you, and I'm not naming no names, but
not Tennessee State University, Nashville, Tennessee.
Because they're small communities. Once somebody is HIV positive and they get introduced and they kicking it with lots of people, you can have an epidemic on campus. So I'll let her take the kids stuff.
Yeah, so especially, I'll even go as far as young as 13. So we're starting to see, especially with STIs, as young as 13. So I don't know about the other states, but here in Ohio, age of consent is 13. So you can actually get tested without parents' permission at the age of 13. So I actually mentor young girls 14 to 18 years old. And once some of the parents, once they find out what do I do for a living, they immediately tell me, do not talk about to my kids about sex. They're not doing any of that. So they have this notion that their kids is just this super saint. But my rule is I transport them out of state. We do college trips. We do everything. Once you in my car, it's whatever conversation comes up. So they give me the real, and the parents are really out of touch. I have had to take some of my girls to our wellness center to get tested. Some of them have actually had sexually transmitted diseases. And the good thing about AHF is that we also treat for free too. So the parents have no idea that their daughters even had an STI. So it's for the youth, because a lot of the parents are so naive in thinking that their children are not having sex, or even the girls who think that they're still a virgin, but they're having oral sex. So there's a lot of different dynamics when it comes to as to why the youth rates are going up so high.
And to piggyback off of that, is it because we don't have that kind of dialogue with our daughters, with our sons? I mean, when you started talking about daughters, I'm thinking about my daughter, like, I don't want to talk about it.
That hurt me too, Ramsey. That hurt me too.
If my daughter's 8, right? But at
the
end of the day,
your daughter is the apple of your eye. You don't want to think of your daughter in that light. But I mean, that once they become a teenager, preteen even, they out there, with social media, the things they're seeing on TV now, it's totally different than when we were growing up. So there is so much more. I'm just being real. And I don't have any children. So
my daughter ran with you. So I'm gonna record your conversation with my daughter.
No, seriously, I encourage that. Everybody needs to have a real conversation. Like, the children want to be able to come to their parents, but a lot of them is, I can't come to my mom and ask her, Mama T, because a lot of them call me Mama T, Miss T, can you take me here? I always have condoms on me to give to my girls because they are scared. They scared to go get condoms. They are scared of all these things. All their parents is worried about, don't come home pregnant, but they don't have the other conversation. It's only the don't get pregnant. Well, the same act to get pregnant is the same act it takes to possibly get HIV or STI, but they don't want to have that part of the conversation.
I got one question.
Hold on, Wes. Ladies, I'm a nurse, and I used to work at Children's here in the city. I used to be in the ER, and all the teenage girls would come after 12 o'clock, and they come in with that same story. I got my stomach's hurting, and of course the docs, they've seen this before. They test them. They got 3 or 4 diseases.
3 or 4.
They get the antibiotics and they go on about their way. They get them right up out of there, and it's that stigma that we're still, even though we know what we did when we were younger. Why we think our kids are not doing the same things? I can speak for myself, but I feel as though once you're a parent, I got 2 boys, and I stopped having kids because I didn't want no girls. So
that's another subject.
Once I talked to my son today, and I was like, "You got a girlfriend?" And he was like, "Nah." I said, "Man, when I was your age, I was crazy about girls. I was just crazy." So, but I ain't trying to put nothing in his head, but it's a different time these kids got so much freedom, so many different influences, and this perception about, even about the LGBTQ, RS, yada, yada, yada. We had a few people in the neighborhood who was like, he may be a little soft, but they didn't have all these different categories to identify themselves as. Like, well, I think I heard one of my friend's daughter said she's fluid. What does that mean?
She doesn't identify as male or female. She's gender fluid.
So before we even get there, let's back the train up, because I think that this is really important. I actually did a conversation with some folks from a Black civic organization a couple days ago, and I said to this group of people, do you realize that 70% of college age youth have had a same-sex experience? Take some time to put that between your ears.
Is that new?
No, it's
not at Tennessee State University, Nashville, Tennessee.
70% of college age youth have had a same-sex experience. So if that's the case, then all of the stuff that you using for all of these, you needed to fit in this box or that box, none of that's gonna work for them. Because a sexual experience is just that, a sexual experience. It doesn't say that I'm gay or I'm straight and gender fluid. I rock with whatever. So if the only thing that we can see is, oh, well, they're a little soft, whatever, you're gonna miss the whole boat, because they don't even have the words that you're using. Don't give me no labels. I don't want no labels. So if that's the case, we got to start talking about things the way they talk about things. And if you don't think that oral sex fits into the category of sex, then too, you missing the boat. That's not sex. This is sex to me. So if you're only going to have the discussion about everybody
speaking the truth.
Every STD that you can catch vaginally or anally, you can catch
orally.
And to the point of 3 STDs, they come in a package. You don't just get one. You get gonorrhea and syphilis. You get gonorrhea, syphilis, and
chlamydia.
All at the same time?
Yes.
Is it on BOGO?
Golly. Hey, kid, that's a package deal.
You better they the click, the popular click. They run together.
They run together. So what's I heard you said ST. I know I heard of STD, but you said STI. Is there a difference? Or is that the same
thing? Transmitted infection.
Okay.
All right. It's real just quick. Like Afro-American Black.
Right.
Interchangeable. We changed the names as we go along to more define what it actually is.
And colored people.
So do they have like an average, over the years we say, okay, this person can live X amount of years with HIV or AIDS. Do they have like an average how long people can live with either or does it have to progress to AIDS for?
Some people never make it to AIDS, a la Magic Johnson. You got enough money, you ain't never got to get sick, right?
He was in them early clinical trials. What they're using now, he was in the clinical trials back then. So what everyone is using now,
and he still has access. But I think the point that I want Dawn to speak to this more so than me. There are different strains of HIV. The part that everybody thinks you get HIV, you got the same thing. Everybody got the same illness. They don't, because what happens is if I'm in a relationship with someone and they don't tell me that they're HIV positive and that they're taking medication, and I am now infected because I've had sex with them. Well, that virus that they have is a medicated virus. That one of the problems with this illness is it replicates. It's very smart. So once you start giving it pills, it finds a way to avoid those pills, and you got to give it some different pills. If you stop taking those pills, then you got to do some different pills. So if that's the case, then you've got a strain that might be more virulent than, say, the strain that Tanya has. So I may, if my immune system wasn't great to begin with, that might take me completely down. But if my immune system's in good shape, I may be able to last a lot longer than, say, Tanya. But it's really dependent on that person's body. Dawn?
Right, and it's managed more like a chronic disease now, just like your cancers, heart disease. If you take your medication, it's one of those medications that you can't skip. It's like birth control. You know, you skip a pill, the virus is able to replicate. So our patients must take their medications on time every day in order to stay on the same medication. Because if they find themselves skipping doses, 1 week skipping doses, another week, then that same medication is not going to work after a while.
Okay, you say the medication. Okay, so I'm watching. Sorry guys for skipping. I'm watching basketball, and it goes back to the other question that we see these commercials, HIV/AIDS. Okay, so these guys are taking this pill. Our ladies are taking these pills.
Stole my question.
The viral loads are going down, but they are still contagious, correct?
So
go ahead, Tanya.
So there's a theory, it's called U equals U, which means undetectable equals untransmittable. So once your viral load is below 20, it's called copies. That means that you are undetectable, which means it is scientifically impossible to transmit the HIV virus to someone else. So that is why they stress that on those commercials.
Yeah,
but you're still positive.
But yeah, but you are still positive.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that could give you a false sense of security, saying, oh, your viral load is low.
That's the commercial showing that.
Yeah, I think that's setting people up. You know,
no, because the moment you go off them meds, your viral load ain't low no more. Like it literally, it's like a 2-week time period, and it shots. It shoots right back up.
Shoots right back up.
So yeah, it ain't no.
And the other reason why this is dangerous, it's separate and apart from the illness. In Ohio, we have what's called the felonious assault law. So if you are a person living with HIV, even though you're undetectable, you still have to tell every single one of your partners that you're positive. You know, so if you don't tell your partner that you're positive, and say I'm a woman, I was dating somebody, I'm undetectable, I've been undetectable for a year. So why I gotta tell this dude that, I don't really want to tell him, but he finds out. He can prosecute me in a court of law because I did not disclose my status to him, even though he wasn't at risk of transmission. So there are more things involved.
Lock her up.
How have the treatments and the medications that are out now, how they're helping to slow the spread?
Dawn?
Well, they're more advanced. Instead of taking 10 pills, they've been able to take all of those different medications and put them into one, which has been great for patients to remember to take 1 pill versus to take 10 pills. And they're, how do I say this? They're gentler on like the liver, less side effects. They're easier to tolerate. So something that's easier to tolerate, patients gonna want to take it. Because some of those old medications, diarrhea, nausea, wasting, which means they lose a lot of weight. So the ones now, like I said, on the back, hump on the back, yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten away from all of that.
You know,
my fault, Wes. Go ahead.
Now, it's kind of funny because you really don't hear about, HIV and AIDS in the media anymore. The only time I really see something about AIDS, to be honest with you, is those Truvada commercials. That come on when you watch Black reality TV shows, or every Black show you watch, here comes a HIV prep, which is, to me, I'm just like, man, this is crazy. But how come you really don't hear it in the media and discuss it? Like, I remember when it first came out, It used to be on when AIDS epidemic. You used to hear about it all the time. One of the first things I remember, I was in elementary school. They had a commercial about the stigmas, how you can drink out the same water fountain, but you don't see that no more. All you see is these PrEP commercials. So why don't you see it or hear about it like you did in the past?
Okay, we're gonna tell you all the little dirty little secrets right now.
Okay.
The first part of it being the reason why you don't hear as much as you used to is because people aren't dropping dead the way they were. Okay. People are living. So it's a chronic illness. One of my favorite Chris Rock's jokes, the money's in the medicine. So if the money is in the pills, it's got to be some serious money if you gonna do these kind of commercials and you doing them targeted towards us.
Yes.
So we got the community viral load thing going on. So that's one of the major reasons why we have the issue. But it's also about the fact that if you are a sexually active person and you take what's called PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis, it more words, but what it means is you take this pill, which is an HIV med. It's an HIV pill. Don't get it twisted. But if you take it, you can reduce the possibility of you becoming HIV positive. And if you're sexually active, and you kicking it and you young, maybe that's the best thing for you. I don't believe in that. Condoms still work. They work the whole, I ain't have a baby till I wanted to. Condoms still work. But for some people, they don't want to use them, right? The drug companies, though, have gotten to a point where this is a cottage industry for them. I mean, we are talking the pills. Dawn can tell you the cost, and I'm sure she will. The cost of these medications is so crazy that we built a business on it. So now we're pushing the drugs further down. 13 years old, you can get on the pills. You ain't even got to tell your parents. So imagine that one. Put that one in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, how are they paying for them? If it's a 13-year-old taking them, how are they paying for it?
Baby?
Dawn got the key to that from what I'm hearing.
Damn, Dawn. Damn, Dawn.
Here's a pill and some condoms.
The drug companies offer patient assistance for certain populations, certain incomes. Let's see, PrEP, $3,800 a month.
What? That's more than my mortgage.
They're expensive.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy because I think that's kind of like, I used to watch this show, it's off now, How to Get Away with Murder. And two of the characters there, they were gay. I hope I'm saying it in the right terms. One found out that they had HIV.
That's the way you said it, though. You said they were gay.
Okay. And it came up in the show, like, I'm about to get on PrEP so we can have sex. And I'm like,
what?
Yes. I'm like, wow. It's just like this has been normalized or something. Like, this is kind of like, how so it just freaked me out. But,
there are PrEP parties, not as much as they used to be, but
oh my God. Back
in the beginning, people wanted to go to swingers parties, they wanted to kick it. So you would go to the party. We didn't go. We just heard there would be bowls of Truvada pills that you could just take. So yeah.
So you said you just heard about those parties?
Look, I've done my share of crazy stuff, but not that.
Condoms still work, like she said.
But also with the introduction of PrEP, that's also one of the reasons why STIs are on the rise, because PrEP only protects you from HIV. So if you say, no, I don't want to wear a condom, you're still subjecting yourself to syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and things of that nature. So that's another reason why we're seeing such a rise in the STIs.
And that's why I mentioned that, because it's like when I saw that on the show, I'm just like, well, like you stated, it don't stop anything else. I mean, there was a joke back in the day where the guy said you can still, because you can still have sex with a condom and still catch crabs. You know what I'm saying? And just look at it as a bridge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I remember that in high school.
You know, so no matter if you have sex, you always having a chance of catching something, no matter what type of protection you use. So
now I'm bug phobic, but I'll take crabs over chlamydia and
yes, yes,
HPV any day.
yeah.
I only eat crabs down here in Florida, so you got to worry about that.
Are there any holistic medicines or treatments for HIV?
No.
Okay.
I'm about to say, hey, nothing.
Some people like to think that, but no.
They call it condom and pray.
Drink
no
alkaline water.
No.
Don't do that.
Everybody want to sage everything and think it's gonna go away. They're gonna have sage parties.
Well, since we did,
what are complex virus, Kendrick? Like you know, when you take the time to study the virus, it is, you know, one of the smart. We can't even cure a common cold. And when you get a virus, it's called a reverse transcriptase virus. So what happens is the virus becomes a part of your cell, turns your cell into an HIV factory, and it starts replicating itself. So if you've got a virus in your system that can reproduce itself and basically just take over your entire system.
Like you said, just like cancer. That's what cancer does.
Yep. So if you're hearing all of the crazy stuff, what are some of the just quickly, like some of the crazy things that you've heard that, oh yeah, you don't have to take all those pills, like Ramsey said, you can drink alkaline water. What are these things? Because I mean, you know, potentially we're going to have people that see this that are going to think that they can, you know, do these things. You know, for example, with when Corona first started last year, there were people who thought that they could inhale boiling orange peel water with sea salt, and that was going to help them out. I ain't even gonna tell y'all who that was. No, it didn't work. So I mean, like, what are those things so that the people can know, like, nah, gee, that doesn't work.
I mean, we've heard some of everything, you know, only have sex with a virgin. That one I was like, oh my God, now you're giving all the virgins like ridiculous stuff.
Okay, it's like a reset.
Or two HIV positive people think they can have sex with each other and don't have to wear a condom because we both have HIV, but as Tracy has stated earlier, they can create another different strand, and that means that the medicine regimen that both parties going on, and now neither one of them can use them, so we have to find a new regimen. Yes, if you are two HIV positive people, some believe that they don't have to wear a condom because they're both HIV positive, so we can have fun and do whatever. And no, that's not.
Really? So you're making it stronger?
Yeah, you're developing a new strand.
What? It's like math, 2 positive make it stronger.
Because one positive may take their medication, the other positive might be
good point. Good point.
Right.
Good point. God. So I mean, I'm actually this. So all right. So I know everybody remember Magic Johnson came out. Was that 1980, 88, 89? I ain't never forget that day. Came home, watched Peter Jensen crying almost, and he announced that he had AIDS. So would you say Magic Johnson is the gift and the curse for y'all industry? Because at the same time, Kanye said it. Did he not say it? I can do anything. Magic made it. Magic now, it's been over 30 years. Magic Johnson still alive, still fake, still big 6'8", big old dude, you know. His wife not test positive. His
And
kids not positive.
Dead as hell.
Yep.
And Easy dead as hell.
And Easy dead. So, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about depends on your body, basically. And you said Magic was in part. Okay.
I mean, I know for a fact, Magic used to be a spokesperson for a drug company that I was affiliated years ago, and met him, and I know for a fact he spoke about the regimens that I get access to as a spokesperson for.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody else getting. He's gotten drugs like there was a point where we thought we would be able to do what was called infusion, which was you would have been able to get hooked up to a the drip, and you wouldn't have to take the pills every day. Yeah, that shit crashed and burned. Sorry.
We PG-13. We PG-13.
Okay, but he literally had access to those medications way before anybody else. Right now, we're on the precipice of having potentially a medication where you would be able to go in and get an injection. I think it's done. Is it once a month that they're toying with?
Yep.
He's already had. He done already had that. He done got that already because he's got access.
Wow.
Yeah, he's probably been part of every clinical trial that has come out.
Okay, Ms. Dawn, I'm about to go Republican on you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so if I tell you, if you said that the cost, you discounting the cost of a drug, you making it cheap or affordable for the poor or somebody who's BLACC funded. So do you think that can create a different type of scenario? So I could be like, well, I can get help because, I can get my pills for free because I don't have this income, what I'm saying? You think, what I'm trying to say, is that an enabler of you getting the virus or what?
No.
But that's what Republicans think, that like, if we keep giving people free stuff, they're not they're going to continue doing the bad thing.
Well, surprisingly, no. Because think about it. Think about your own self. Think about taking a vitamin. Mm-hmm. You probably slip up and taking a vitamin. So taking a medication every day for the rest of your life, that's a hard pill to swallow for someone that's in the age group of 18 to 30. Think about it. If you get diagnosed at 18 and you have to take this pill every day. What if, think about all the things the 18, 19, 20-year-olds binge. You binge a whole weekend.
Yep.
They're not taking their pills.
I can't remember to take my multivitamin.
Yeah, so that's definitely not, not even, we can give it away, and some of our young people don't want to take it. So that's the biggest part of trying to manage the disease in young people, is to get them to take their medication.
So what's a myth that you guys been heard about both diseases, STI, STD, HIV? What is a myth that been going around? Like, I know y'all hear everything.
Can I change that question a little? Because one thing I wanted to make sure I shared today. I was doing some research yesterday, talking to one of the staff, and one of the things I wish that we would say, forget the myths. I wish we would give the fact. Like, there has been an increase in the age limit on a drug called I can't remember what the dang thing is called, but it actually helps to stop the infection of HPV. So it came on the market, Gardasil.
Yeah. Gardasil, yeah.
And
I heard that.
When it first came on, everybody was like weirded out about it. We were using it for girls. And then my son's pediatrician was like, I want him to take it. So he's already had his first dose. And he has to take it. I think he has to have another dose next year. I saw a stat yesterday, that it now goes up to 45 years old. So men and women under the age of 45, everybody on this square that's under 45 needs to get this shot. Why? If you're married, no. But if you doing your thing, or people that are, the most virulent STD is HPV, and there are hundreds of strains of this particular virus.
Break it down, and they might not know HPV, or they might.
HPV.
Papilloma, yes.
But it's
nurse over there.
virulent virus. It comes in the package sometimes with all of that other package. And one of the reasons why we really stress HPV treatment is because what happens is it can basically hide. Herpes is its ugly stepsister, but for the most part, you do get some signs with herpes. But with HPV, you might not see any signs, and it just clicks and pops up. And now everybody you just done got married to your new wife, your new husband, and everybody looking at each other trying to figure it out. But it's so prevalent that most people already are walking around potentially with the infection. So if we can vaccinate people so that they, even not against whatever strand they got, but potentially the other bazillion strands of it, that's a good deal. So I want to make sure that that gets out there. I mean, in terms of like the weird stuff we hear, I mean, I don't really hear as much anymore. And it usually is me. I always, my cousin laughs at me because I'm like, if you're going to have oral sex, make sure you don't eat any potato chips before you do. Yeah.
Why potato chips?
Hey, I ain't never heard that one.
Me either. Why potato chips?
They don't eat any wavy lays, no wavy lays, boy.
So,
you want to take
salt,
that?
There's salt in that mug.
No, you don't want to take it?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So you don't eat potato chips because they leave micro abrasions on your gum. So it's easier for STDs and HIV to get through.
I never thought about that.
I never thought about that.
I never thought about that.
You be salt all in your mouth. You gonna be...
Don't your gums burn sometimes? Potato chips?
Hey, you stop at the gas station, you be like, do not buy chips tonight. Do not.
Give me that blade. Give me that blade.
Get out of here.
Hell no.
Second one. Who likes anal sex more, men or women?
Just because you asked this question, I'm gonna say
you asked
men.
all the questions.
I'm gonna say men just because you asked that question.
That's right.
That's some gay dudes out there.
It's women.
Women.
Y'all nasty. Just playing. So why you say that? Why you say? So why you say that, though? Why you ask that question? Why anal sex?
I always try to offer that up because I think sometimes we have misnomers about anal sex, that it's really something that only gay men do. Kendrick and I have a relative that will tell you in open forum how much she adores.
Drop it like it's hot.
But it is
anal sex and potato chips. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, those are the
fungus. Anal sex and fungus.
Oh yeah. What about fungus?
I think anything abrasive, right? Anything abrasive you want to be careful with. Oh, and you shouldn't brush your teeth before having oral sex for the same reason. Okay. So why?
So get the morning breath. Have the morning breath. Stink breath.
Nah, you can't have the morning breath, dude.
Not necessarily the morning breath.
No morning breath. Not anal sex, man.
You say you can't brush the teeth.
Just rinse your mouth out with some
Listerine, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to brush your teeth because again, you get microabrasions on your gum.
Y'all some amateurs.
Look at BG, like, I got a big bottle of mouthwash, not a big.
Big bottle. And he got a whole box of Sam's potato chips at his house too.
Well, let me go into, I guess, one of my questions. How would you say we can? Well, let me even back up. So when I was going getting my hair cut or shape up earlier today, I was telling the barber what we were recording today. And he was telling me about a guy that he went to high school with that bragged about going raw dog with everyone that he had sex with. This is since high school. Now, if I'm 45, the guy that I was just talking to, he's probably about 42, 43. So for about 20 something years, this guy has been going raw dog. Well, fast forward, he is, of course, has tested positive. And now people have come out. They've been on Maury Povich, actually, and I think another show, and they have prosecuted him. We were just talking about that last one. So he's now doing some time. He has tested HIV positive. So outside of raw dogging everyone, what can we do better as a community to stop the spread of STDs?
Well, definitely, I would say partner testing, going together to get tested. Like, you don't do nothing, share your results. So that's one of the biggest things that we emphasize is doing partnership testing. Go together. Okay. And don't just say, oh no, I got my papers. No, let me see them. We going together, because How long ago is this test?
I don't know.
So when it comes to HIV, there's this thing called the 90-day window. So that means if you take a HIV test today, so today is June 9th, that means as of March 9th, you were HIV negative if it comes back negative. So an HIV test today doesn't mean that you're HIV negative today. That means you were HIV negative as of 3 months ago. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions.
Interesting.
See, what I take a different tact on this, and for me, because I spend so much time with young people, you know, they don't really look at things the way we did a generation ago or 2 generations ago. That the onset of sex tends to be later, you know, because they got porn, they got access to everything, you know, so it isn't always necessarily that they're having lots of sex. They will have sex once they meet the person. So like we've been chit-chatting, we've been DMing, whatever. They're more apt to have sex on the first face-to-face encounter. So one of the things that we say is, like, you know, mutual masturbation still works. You know, you ain't gotta, everybody ain't gotta, toys still work. I mean, I think sometimes we've gotten to the place where we think that, you know, sex has to be, my cousin's flinching, sex has to be this particular, you know, penis into a vagina. But I think it's a broader conversation about what sexuality means anymore. You know, people, hopefully you're not sharing anything across the internet so that you can go to jail, but I don't know how many people on this square, I know it's happened to me, and I was horrified talking to this guy, and he was like, send me a pic. I was like, a pic of what? Like, a picture? What? Yeah, just from the top up without you. But that's what people do, you know?
Did you send it?
Hell no.
Okay.
What did Kendrick say? I gotta work.
Tanya told me to ask. Tanya told me to ask.
You know it. You know what I said. But this is the thing, Tracy. You're a respectable professional, but you weren't respectable all your life. You did some sketchy stuff at one point in your life. Somebody got some pictures of you.
There were no cell phones back then.
Somebody got some pictures.
There were no cell phones. It was the flip phone.
But they got some pictures. I'm vanilla. I ain't never take no pictures. Cause you know the generation I grew up in, people was filming people and putting sex tapes out. That's how the Kardashians got a career. You can't film me, boo. You know what? I'm gonna find a picture, Tracy. If you do, you better make sure it wasn't Photoshop. You're gonna be like,
Well, one thing that Tanya brought up was going to get tested together. Now, tell us, I guess, a little bit about National HIV Testing Day and why it's so important.
Dawn, you want to take that?
Oh, go ahead. It's coming up on June 25th or 26th. What day is it, Tanya?
27th.
Okay.
The good thing about National HIV Testing Day is it normalizes HIV testing. So it doesn't make it seem so taboo. Like anybody, like let's all go. Fraternities can come and all get tested together. Sororities, anyone in the community can come out and get tested. I think that makes it, like I said, that takes some of the stigma away from testing when you just have a national day and anyone can come get tested.
How long has this been going on? How long is it?
It started in 1995.
How do they test? Saliva, blood? How do they do it?
So now there's it's a finger stick, so you can actually get your results in as little as 1 minute now.
Oh no, hell no.
That's good. No, that's good, man.
You ain't gotta use the
That's good.
You ain't gotta use the
I tell you why it's good.
I'm straight. Let's go.
The first time I had an AIDS test, and like it used
There's
to be
no
a
such
week.
thing as an AIDS test, HIV testing.
Everybody looking at you like.
But you know, when you got tested though, you get there, you sat there, you would just be worried, just like, damn.
Yeah.
For that whole week, until you got your results, you just like you get shook. But a minute, man, you don't have the anxiety.
That's how I felt about that COVID test.
Hold on, Tanya.
After I went to that funeral.
So Tanya,
Man.
you ain't got to use the little Q-tip thing no more.
No, it's a finger prick now, just like a diabetes testing.
Oh, they should still have to go through that. They should still have to go through that, man.
That's terrible.
That's for other STDs.
Oh my goodness.
All right, hold on. We need to do a segment on Ken. What all tests you have had?
No, I ain't had nothing in a long time.
Oh my goodness.
If something
That
come
is
up itching, we're gonna have a
terrible.
conversation.
You going with your friends and they tell you in a minute, so the ride home gonna be all jacked up, like
Yeah. It's gonna be a quiet ride, like
everybody cool in the car. You like,
and it can. There, I mean, we try to normalize testing. We do testing at clubs. We do testing at events. And there are times when your life gets changed, and we're escorting people off the property because
at the club.
Oh, that's awful.
Y'all need to do it. Y'all need to go on and do it at TSU's homecoming at the beginning.
No, this is the first year we back open, man. Let everybody
Just imagine.
Well, I will share that that I did have to turn one Greek, I won't even say if it's a fraternity or sorority, one Greek organization, their chapter meeting, I had to come in and do it as a testing event.
Oh wow. Damn. Well,
we got to get these Greeks some prep, don't you, Miss Dawn?
It wasn't any.
Well, Dawn and I are both Greek too. We both are Greek. Yeah, we're both Greek.
Well,
the people that's gonna be promoting it is the people who haven't had sex in 10 years. That's what's gonna be the situation. Come on, bro. Come on, get go ahead, have
right.
I'm gonna do mine too. See, negative. Oh wow.
And we do that. I ain't here live.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Because people will do it if somebody in the fraternity or the sorority or the civic organization or the pastor, if you do it, it usually will help us to get people tested. And here's the thing: as much as it can be life changing, because it can be. I ain't gonna sit here and act like it's not. Not knowing is so much worse, right? At least you can get into treatment. At least we can get into care. At least you won't put anybody else's life at risk. Like not knowing is so much worse. So we always try to make sure that we encourage people to get tested. So thank you for sharing.
Just real quick, just off the subject. So you ladies work in this. So two of you guys are not married, right? Am I correct?
Yes, and I always say I wish I was married before I started this show.
Yeah, because I'm like, how do you go on a date with somebody and you work for the AIDS Foundation? They like, you're gonna be like, hey.
Then when
you gotta sign his waivers.
Right.
Yes, my
question is waiver, and we're not eating chips tonight. No chips.
I got a little fingerprint. I won't use this right here. I need you to drop a blood on this.
He'll pick up his glass. What is that?
No, seriously.
Like anytime I've had a new partner, I mean, Tanya might be different, but every time I've had a new partner, because I done had a marriage and a divorce and a baby while I was doing this work. We went together.
Oh my goodness.
You getting tested. And hey, you might need a lot of detector tests too. Listen.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Wow.
All right, so you like the 90-day rule, Steve Harvey over here. She already 90-day rule.
We actually have a film called 90 Days.
Yeah, we do. And 90 days means something different in that movie.
Yeah, it should be called 60 seconds. Shit. What the hell?
But you go and get tested. You talk about it. I mean, we talked about it.
What we gonna talk about if I have it and you don't?
That doesn't
Relationship is over.
Want me to call you an Uber?
Conversation gonna be real short.
You want an Uber?
Real talk.
You want an Uber?
Hey, G, she gonna see you home with the bag of chips.
Hold on. Real talk.
Ooh,
That-
yeah.
It's called. It's
Take
called
my
zero.
ass this way. Oh, that's terrible.
It's called zero discordant couples. So that means that one person's negative and one person's positive. Here's the real. If the female is positive, the opportunity for her to give a male an infection is very small, because that's not the way our bodies are set up. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's really, really low, especially if she's cautious and, you know, they take care of themselves, because the female body is set up to receive and the male body isn't. The passing the infection on, the chances are slim. So we know couples that have babies and the woman's positive. You know, there things like sperm washing where, you know, people, you know, in vitro. So that doesn't mean necessarily that you're not going to be able to date someone that's positive. That might be a deal breaker for you. But for lots of couples they're having full, healthy lives with their partners.
My last question in regards to National HIV Day.
Yes, sir.
Because we were talking, you just mentioned, Tanya, about you just appeared at a frat meeting.
Surprise!
Right. They say, you know what?
Because Dawn and I are both Greek, so like I let you know what I do for a living, just because to make people, you know, to make it more acceptable for people to come to me. So listen, so they reached out and said, hey, we got this going on.
Brothers, we're not meeting today.
I didn't say no. I'm not saying if it was a fraternity or a sorority, but we need chapter meetings to be a testing event. So can you bring your testers and we go break out the little room and go get tested? So
No, I was just asking because outside of that, are there any other special events that are being held for National HIV Testing Day?
Dawn, you want to talk about what you guys are doing in Cleveland?
So we have a mobile testing unit in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting a food truck. So we're offering a voucher for each person that gets tested to get a free meal.
To get some free food to get tested. So they need
different cities have different things that they have going on for National HIV Testing.
Okay. Good deal.
Okay. Well, a little birdie told me
that
the task force is restarting a program in Cleveland in the Wellness Center. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Dawn and I are really excited that, you know, in Cleveland, it is very difficult to get free STD testing. You can get a free HIV test, but STD testing, you have to show your insurance, because if you do test positive, the treatment can be a little expensive. So that care usually isn't given away for free. But we are reinstituting a program where care will be given away for free. So we're very excited about that. We're starting on June 16th, 4 hours on Wednesday, 1 to 4, I think it is, Dawn.
Yes.
On Wednesday. So you can come. No questions asked, 13 to whenever, get tested and get treated if you find yourself in a situation where you need it. So thank you.
And people from all walks of life come, college students, married couples, other couples, just people in general, just show up.
So how are they performing these? Are they urine or blood? How are they doing these tests? Because usually, are they instant, or you send them away for a couple of days and they'll let you know with the information whether you're positive or not? Not HIV, but for the STIs or
STIs. So your HIV is
yeah, go ahead.
Your the gonorrhea and chlamydia is urine, and so that's sent off, and then syphilis is by blood as well, and that's sent off to that one.
Okay.
So your only result that you get the same day is HIV.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're rounding third, heading home in terms of the questions. So listen, it is June 9th. It's getting hot outside. People are dressing less. It sounds like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The country is open. You know, about half or at least half of adults have at least one shot or one dose, their first dose of the vaccine. So you know that people are about to be out here bad and hot in the draws this summer, right?
with their sundresses on.
With the sundresses.
We
Thank
can't
God for the
wait.
sundresses. But you know, and not to speak bad on any specific place, but can you give the viewers an idea of which cities or which communities you were seeing infection rates spike prior to the pandemic? And did you see what, if any, changes did you see during the pandemic?
So it is disturbing to say that most of the infections, especially in communities of color, especially in Black communities, run right along the coast into the South. The infection rates are off the chain in southern states, Atlanta, Mississippi, Louisiana. It just follows the coast. Why is that? Higher concentration of African Americans. People don't necessarily believe that the virus is transmitted or they got to worry about it anymore. All of the stuff that, Black people deal with just in general, but the South is a challenge. When you talk about places like where we are in Ohio, the infection rates are higher for syphilis and continuing to increase. But Dawn and I, every day, there was a while where we were really not seeing, we would get one new person maybe a week. We see a new person every day. So the rates are starting to creep up, and people were having COVID sex. So at a certain point, it's going to be ugly. We know that's coming. We know that there's going to be a spike. We're just hoping and praying that it won't be too bad. What we worry about is where we're going to see that spike. And we are all envisioning between Columbus and Ohio and Cincinnati that spike is going to be in 18 to 29. That's where we're gonna see a lot more infection.
All right, let me tell you about this. Is one of my favorite kind of segments. We did this before. It's called This and That, and basically the premise of This and That, I'm gonna give you two scenarios, and basically you just pick the scenario. So first, let's start up with a warm-up question. Since most of y'all live in the Cleveland area, Ohio area,
I think you look scared, yo.
Polish boys or corned beef?
You said what?
Polish boys or corned beef?
Corned beef.
Polish boys. Polish girls, actually.
Oh.
Okay, what is Polish?
Yeah, Polish
boys,
girl.
man?
You said Polish boy.
I don't know what that is.
Polish
I don't know
girl.
that.
Polish boy.
Ken, take us to Cleveland.
Not the suburbs.
It's a mixture of beef, pork, chicken, all of it. It's just the sausages, but Polish girls is all beef. So I don't eat pork. So I would do Polish girl over corned beef. But if I had to choose Polish boy or corned beef, I have to go corned beef.
That's like Polish boy is a hot dog, a regular hot dog.
Yeah, that's what
No, it still has.
It's just what it's made out of.
Right.
Sound like a
Right, that's what I
gyro.
mean. Right.
No, because it has fries and coleslaw on it and everything, man.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's go to the next one. Lifestyles or Durex?
Or Magnum.
Exhale.
Actually, AHF brand. We have our own kind.
Flexonal.
All right.
Flexonal.
Y'all got your own condo, really?
Icon of love condoms.
Now,
Wow.
since y'all brought up, y'all have a
Send some to Pete.
now. Since Tracy, you brought this up that you and Ken has a relative that likes this. Astroglide or KY?
Oh, she said she don't need none of that.
Oh.
Damn. Self-lubricating.
Oh my
Hey, she really did say that the last time we was together too.
You know what's crazy? I thought that KY jelly stood for Kentucky jelly.
Yep, you went to
I thought
Indiana
that
State.
KY was no.
To answer your question, I think it's Astroglide that I've heard is much better, and it doesn't evaporate as quick, so it lasts a little longer.
Yeah, Astroglide is better. It's better.
It is.
Better than
Greg got here snitching.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
All right.
Greg got a big sounds box at his house.
Costco.
Hey, sometimes you gotta slip and slide, buddy.
Oh my God. All right, let's get to the next one. You know, since AHF has their own brand of condoms, sheepskin or lambskin?
Neither.
So it's just plain out, it's just plain plastic?
Wrong.
No, polyurethane is fine, but you don't ever want to do a porous sheepskin condom because things can get through. STDs, HIV, you always want to use either polyurethane or latex. If you got an allergy to latex, polyurethane works.
Okay, now was AHF affected with the condom shortage? There was a condom shortage last year.
We didn't have one.
All right, cool.
It was also a condom recall.
None of ours were recalled, thanks.
I read about it on internet.
She got to come back for all of them. So.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. She prepared. I was nervous with some of these questions. I ain't nervous no more. All right, next one. Diaphragm or pull-out game?
Oh, hell no. Diaphragm.
It don't work.
Diaphragm. Ain't no pull out.
Pull-out game!
Pull-out game!
Gang.
Get you a diaphragm or prepare to pay child support.
Exactly.
Pull-out game is strong!
3 kids later, huh?
All right, next one. Scarier moment. Waiting for an STD result or STI result or a pregnancy result?
Pregnancy.
Oh, that's y'all.
Right? The pull-out game, man, waiting. Dang.
Pregnancy.
All right. I already know the answer to this one, but it's on here, so I'm going to ask it. If you had to have one, syphilis or gonorrhea?
Gonorrhea.
I live in Ohio.
Gonorrhea.
You don't want
gonorrhea. You can treat gonorrhea.
Go blind. Syphilis, you can go blind. And so I freaked my cousin out with this one. So syphilis is in stages. Watch it. So the first stage of syphilis, you get what's called a chancre sore. So you get a sore on your penis usually, and it oozes and it ain't painful, but it's Joel ain't cute. Look it up.
wasn't that the Tuskegee? I mean the Tuskegee experiment.
It was syphilis.
Syphilis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
So
thought.
it wasn't an experiment, but I'll answer that one. The second stage is highly infectious, and you could pass it on to someone without having sex, and it tends to show up in the palms of your hand.
Yeah.
Hence, that's why we give you a pound, because most you could catch syphilis. So if you continue and you don't treat it, because the symptoms pretty much go away.
You about to give him that head nod.
The third stage is blindness and potentially death.
Dang.
And the treatment for syphilis, the needle is very long, and the bicillin, the medicine is very, very thick. So grown, muscular dudes be walking out limping by the time they leave our clinic.
Y'all laughing.
Right.
Hey,
You can only take it in the buttocks. That's
Raise
like the shot.
Hey,
They be limping out.
For the fellas, how many of y'all knew you could pass syphilis through your hands?
I did not know till today.
I didn't know we
That's
can
giving
eat
me
chips.
even more reason
I didn't
to
know.
give them that.
I didn't know
to
that
give 'em
until this moment right now.
Bro, I'm not eating chips or handshaking.
When I told Kendra, he was like, "Ah." So, in regards to this, the Tuskegee incident, they withheld treatment. They didn't inject them with syphilis. They just withheld treatment. They told them that they were giving them treatment, and they did not. And the people progressed into late stages of syphilis.
Or their version of placebo.
Placebo.
Exactly, the sugar pill.
Got it. Massage or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Next question. Wine or tequila?
Wine.
What kind of wine?
You said wine?
Okay.
Hey, she lying. No, she is lying.
Oh.
Well, actually, for her, is watching other people drink tequila.
Right.
Okay. So since everyone pick wine, red wine or white wine?
Moscato.
Red wine.
Or rosé.
Drink good tequila. Drink good tequila.
Oh.
Actually, I prefer rosé.
I saw that on Housewives the other night. Last night I saw somebody running down the room with that bottle.
He did too.
What kind of tequila is that?
Azul.
Azul.
Clase Azul.
Is it white or gold?
That's pretty.
No, it has a bell.
When you hear that, means you got a drink, yo.
Yeah, that bottle was on New Jersey Housewives the other night.
I don't watch that show, man. You don't watch Housewives.
Oh, that's
look at Pete flexing.
He is trying to flex.
You got the Michael Jordan. You got the Michael Jordan.
Look at Pete.
And the Michael Jordan tequila.
Oh, you got the Michael Jordan one too?
Yeah.
Man, P got somebody rent sitting on the table in front of him, man.
Look at him.
All right.
I'm trying to get like him.
All right, Tracy. So this little birdie told me you have a shoe addiction.
Uh-oh.
So, shoes or oxygen?
Ooh.
You see the pause.
I know. Well, it would definitely be oxygen, but I love shoes.
All right, now let me ask you the follow-up question. How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Tracy, you know I saw your shoe collection too.
Hold on. Hey, Wes. The better question is ask her to move that thing that's behind her to answer the question. That's the truth.
Oh my goodness.
He said she's over here doing the show in the closet.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
Oh, the big reveal.
Oh my goodness.
Some racks.
He got industrial shelves.
Ooh,
Oh my goodness.
Converse in every color.
Oh my goodness. She kinda
Oh,
like his
wow.
style. Like I'm a Converse
she's
guy
like,
too.
yeah.
Look at Big G like
They go all the way down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
She really is in the closet doing.
She's in a bedroom. Like this room.
Oh
You know,
my
it looks
goodness.
like, hey kid, you know, it looks like, you know, on Jesus Amiro.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
Yep. Look
Yeah.
just like
You
it.
have all his shoes.
Yeah.
I have a small addiction.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's all right.
All right. The last one. Family or friends?
Family.
My family are my friends.
The family.
How many of us hide down?
Ones we can depend on.
Exactly.
Well, this concludes the segment of this and that. I hope y'all had fun.
We did. Thank
See?
you for inviting us.
And it wasn't that bad. So
It wasn't.
we're about to close it out. finally, before we close the show, we always have a words of wisdom. As I said in the opening, that's actually where a lot of times we cover some of these topics that specifically affect the Black community. And, you know, today, whenever we have a guest, when we do an interview, we actually ask the guest, or one of the guests in this case, or all three, to give us some words of wisdom. So you guys get to pick. Anybody have words of wisdom to leave us with?
Ladies?
Get tested and chill. Let's normalize the conversation around HIV and the stigma in the Black community.
And it's like Russia isn't watching.
Okay.
Hey, straight to the point.
There we go.
Right. I like it.
I was waiting a long paragraph or something.
Yeah, because we done had some long-winded ones before. I mean, just like, Lord, finish it up, please.
Wrap it up, B.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're gonna just go ahead and say thank you, Tanya, thank you, Tracy, thank you, Dawn, very much for coming on the show. We greatly appreciate you ladies coming on and sharing this information, and like you said, Tanya, normalizing the conversation. This is one of the things that I think that we need. I think, speaking for the fellas, we've all learned something here today. Yes, and that's the takeaway. That's what we want to make sure that we do, that everybody takes something away, the viewers, the participants, and everybody. So again, you know, thank you so much for that. Before you go, can you let us know and let the viewers know where they can go to get more information about the organizations and your initiatives?
It's AIDStaskforce.org is our website. And if you're in the Cleveland area, we're located at 2829 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. I'll let the ladies tell you about AHF.
And you can also go to aidshealth.org to learn more about our organization. And if you are in Columbus, Ohio, we offer free testing at our Out of the Closet thrift store located at 1230 North High Street.
Any social media, because we know we're talking about trying to reach these people, you know, these different folks. Any social media accounts that you guys want to shout out?
Hey, you want to give AHFs? We're working on it.
It's just AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and we're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And we also have BLACC accounts, BLACC, that is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
Okay. And viewers, everybody out there, we want you to keep a lookout. We're going to be running and airing some of the commercials on our social media platforms for BLACC, for AHF, for AIDS Task Force. You know, whatever they need, we are here to help and assist to get their message out. Okay, so just keep an eye out on that. Now, finally, for the fellas, we want to say again, thank you to the ladies. Thank you to all of the viewers for tuning in and watching. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe. Our contact, our website, we have the urbanretrospect.com. On Facebook, you can find us at the Urban Retrospect. On IG, you can find us at the Urban Retrospect. We have a YouTube account. You can go and check out all of the past episodes. You can find them there or on the website. The YouTube is the Urban Retrospect, and the Twitter is Retrospect 1619. Finally, if you want to be on the show, you have ideas for topics or products for us to review, hit us up. We can be found on Gmail or at Gmail at theurbanretrospect@gmail.com. So thank you everybody for participating today. And like we do every time we close the show, we want to wish you all peace, love, and retrospect. Y'all take it easy, okay?